Hi, how are you?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
I'm doing great. And I'm really excited. I'm always excited. I say that every week. I say that every week, but it's true. I get excited when we do another podcast.
It's true. Yes.
This is
And you're a busy guy these days.
there's always fun things to do. I always
Yes.
try to find an outlet for this creative energy that I have, and most of the time it's stuff that fails, and every once in a while something something fun comes out of it.
Which is pretty amazing. And so, for those of you listeners who may not know, Jeff and his band have a new CD coming out very, very soon, which we
Yes,
will absolutely, in a very, I don't know, narcissistic way, we're going to absolutely share the link
we
on
are.
our page. So, Jeff is
Okay.
making music, doing podcasts, appearing on other podcasts. I mean, Jeff's a busy, and he's got lots of grandkids and kids and a wife and tortoises and all sorts of fun things that take up his time. So
Life.
busy guy, busy
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
and a job.
oh yeah, there's that. There's that.
And a job.
And
All right,
boxes of
Jeff, so tell everybody what we're doing this week.
so we're welcoming Joy back to I know her as Joy.
Yes.
So we're welcoming her back as a guest host to talk about her favorite Muffs album and mine, Blonde and Blonder. And
And who else?
we're pushing Ronnie out of the co-host seat into the hot seat.
Ah, exactly where we love to have Ronnie.
Yeah, so it's an album focus
Yeah,
episode about this record right here. So
with special guest stars. So let's get started.
let's do it.
Hi, this is Soraya.
And this is Jeff,
Our podcast is called Paisley Stage Raspberry and Rhyme.
a podcast where the two of us play music that we like and share anecdotes and background about the tunes.
We hope you'll join our conversation. And without further ado, agruviar.
Let's get groovy. All right, and here's Joy, so I'll let Joy in. All right, co-host Joy
With the most.
Milam. And put on some pants.
Yeah, he has pants on.
Hang on.
It's Zane.
There we go.
Hey, Ronnie.
How's the lighting? How's the lighting? Sorry to be late.
Always
Usually
brings out
Soraya's
your
the late
good
one.
side.
You have a beautiful glow to you.
Ah, hey Joy. Been a while.
No, how are you?
I'm okay. Sorry to be late. Soraya's usually the late one, so it's me today. Sorry about that.
It's all right. I
Boom.
just got here.
Calling us out already. Coming in strong.
Damn, Ronnie.
I know.
Coming
Sorry.
in hot.
Are we being taped?
We are.
Are
We are.
We
So-
are.
Okay.
So
Okay, you can introduce me then. Go ahead.
All right, Soraya, this is all you.
You know, it goes without saying. The one and only, the man, the myth, the mystery, Ronnie Barnett.
Yes.
Hey everybody.
Hey.
Not
Great
a
to be here as a
co-host.
guest. I
This-
know, a guest.
The
It's weird.
focus. All
Yeah.
eyes are on you.
Yeah, because we need more information about this record, right?
Damn
So,
straight.
hey, we got to give credit where
Ah,
credit is due. This is Joy's idea
Yay.
for us to focus on this album. So, Joy, I think
Aw.
like me, this is your favorite Muffs album, right?
It is. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've heard of it. I've heard of this record.
Yeah. Well, we all had problems picking our favorites off of here because I'm like, they're all my favorites.
Yeah.
So, and then Jeff's like, well, you pick first. And I was like, ah, I didn't know what to pick.
Right. Yeah. No, I haven't heard it in a while, and I didn't listen, but I looked and like it's pretty solid. I gotta say, it's pretty solid collection. If I
It
stand
It
back
is
and
a
look at it as
solid
a
album for sure.
So it was the Muffs' second full-length album, right? And the first as a three-piece.
yes,
First with Ronnie. I mean,
No.
sorry, first with Roy.
yes.
You were there from the beginning. Yeah. So first with Roy in the band, first full length, 1995 is when
Yeah.
it came out.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot. I guess I should do a brief kind of leading up to this record. I will start by saying, yeah, this is a favorite of many people. It's our best-selling record. I'll get to that. We started as a 4-piece, and we just to do it real quick. We got signed to Warner Brothers super quick, and and we made a record, and it was a 4-piece, and it it did okay, but in the meantime, our A&R guy, we had 2 A&R guys, but our A&R guy, Rob Cavallo, who produced our first record along with our other A&R guy, Dave Katz-Nelson. First record Rob ever produced. Well, the second record Rob produced, and the band he signed after us was a band called Green Day. And they made a record called Dookie, which I don't, it's not news or anything, but it blew up huge. And
did pretty well.
And yeah, in Green Day, I'll say, besides having our A&R guy, our label, they adopted our management, our booking agent, our person who did the paperwork. So after Green Day blew up, things were kind of working to the spotlight being put on us next. So yeah, we leading up to that, we switched from Warner Brothers to Reprise Records, which is the same umbrella at the time, or probably still is. But what it basically meant is different people working your record. So I gotta say, it's one of the last decisions that Lenny Waronker, the famous record exec, made before he left Warner Brothers. Wow. But yeah, so we switched to Reprise so we could work with the same radio people that worked Green Day and all that. And so yeah, this was as I said in the liner notes in this, I believe that this was our big swing. And yeah, we on the way there, the original lineup fell apart, first with Chris, our drummer, quitting after the first tour for our first record, which means Chris quit about 2 months after the record came out. We got another drummer, my best friend, Jim Laspiza, came in. We toured the world with Jim for another year. And yeah, when it came time to kind of think about the next record, there's a couple of painful things leading up to this lineup, but yeah, Roy was always supposed to be in the band. We asked Roy to be our drummer when we first formed, and Roy will tell you this. To be honest, the prospect at the time of a band of 2 ex-Pandoras who were switching instruments and one of their boyfriends is playing bass was not the most attractive offer at the time. And Roy just had a baby, and he ended up moving to Texas for a while. So his life kind of took him that way for a while. But yeah, when it came time to think about the next record, we asked Roy back, and he was willing. He flew out, did the audition, which he didn't need to do, and moved back to California. Got him back to California. Got him in the band, and we were a 4-piece for about, I don't know, 6 months or so with me, Kim, Melanie, and Roy. That's our short-lived lineup. And yeah, when it came time to record, just things. Yeah, I'll just say things weren't going well personally or professionally. And there's some changes that had to be made. At the time, I was kind of freaked out. I'm resistant to change, and I wish it would have worked out differently, but it didn't. So 3-piece we became.
I love this 3-piece lineup. It is, to me, I mean, that's no disrespect or anything on anybody that's come before, but for me, this 3-piece is just so solid, and the chemistry and everything just really works.
Well, yeah, no, fate came into play there. We didn't mean to be a 3-piece. In fact, when we went to record the record, and I hate it if I'm getting ahead of your questions, I'm sorry. When we went in to record the record, we thought, well, we'll record the record as a 3-piece, and we'll find somebody else. We'll audition and get somebody else. And what happened, again, Green Day steps in. We got an offer to open for Green Day at the Palladium. and we couldn't turn that down. So we're like, well, let's just do it as a 3-piece. And so we took the gig and we played a warm-up show the night before at this club called Hell's Gate, this awful club that was at Yucca and Cahuenga, which at the time was the most dangerous intersection in the United States. Now it's probably a little different, but no. So we played under a different name, like anybody would care. We played under the name Killing Grandma, and I don't know where that came from. I wish I wish Kim was around. Well, for many reasons, but she could probably tell. I don't remember why we came up with that, but yeah, we played as a 3-piece, and then we did this big show at the Palladium, and we were kind of like, you know what, this is kind of sure, you miss the extra guitar here and there, but like this kind of works well. It's kind of more rocking, and a 3-piece we became.
Super good.
Were you all done with the album when you got the offer to open for Green Day?
No, it was in the middle of recording, so we had to I don't know, take a day off or two from recording. But yeah, no, it was in the middle. We were not on schedule to play. It was just one of those gigs that comes up that you couldn't, again, we couldn't turn down. So, and that's the only time we ever played with Green Day. So, yep. Wow. But yeah, Joy, thank you. I mean, the 3-piece is what we became, and that's what we remained the remaining, 24 years of our career.
Yeah.
And that's the 3-piece lineup is what defines us. Things got more dynamic, and that's, yeah.
It works.
100%.
Thank you.
The energy of the three of you. It's like, I don't know. Yeah, literally, it's like containing a storm in a bottle.
Yeah.
No. And I had to kind of, well, we all kind of, except for Roy, who's a, fine musician, but we had to tighten up, especially me being a 3-piece. I had to make sure I was more solid and not, fall into the crowd. You know what I mean? Just do dumb stuff like I used to do. Well, I continue to do for a while, but you know what I mean. Anybody knows our early lineup
too.
Well, yeah, no. I mean, I'd have to defend myself from getting hit with a guitar and stuff. And, things happen. Their early lineup was very, very messy at times, and very loud. And yeah, we continue to be loud for a while too, but we gradually learned how to harness things and make things better. You can always tell when you're loud because the crowd is just staring at you and not moving, and
in shock.
In shock.
Processing.
And that said, you got to turn up to get that tone, that guitar tone and stuff. But we learned by the end of the next 24, 25 years, we learned how to how to harness that.
Nice.
So
I want to learn more about this recording team. But is it okay if we take a break and listen to a song off this?
Absolutely. You're running the show, not me.
All right. So Soraya, what do you think? What do we play first?
Let's start with Onina.
All right. So I decided to pick Onina as one of my 2 songs. And I think we should listen to it first, but I'd like to learn more about who Nina is. I think I have an idea, but maybe after we listen to this, you can, if you could share a little bit about it.
He knows.
Well, we'll talk after.
We'll talk after.
I can tell.
Oh, Ronnie.
It's going to be very disappointing, by the way. I'll preface it with that. Go ahead.
Okay, before we get started.
Yep.
Damn, this song is so stinking good. And Kim is ridiculously amazing on it. Jeff, why'd you pick Onina?
It's just so catchy, and I feel like a lot of these songs kind of have like a 50s melody kind of feel to it, where it's really catchy but pumped up on. We were talking about being high on Girl Scout cookies. I could just imagine a bunch of coffee, but they're just so catchy, and these are songs that are almost all of these are earworms after I listen to this, and this one definitely gets stuck in my head a lot. And I noticed that the 2 that I pick are 2 of the screamy songs. So.
It is a fair representation of Kim's scream. That song. Well, I mean, Jeff, you hit the nail on the head a bit there. I mean, Kim, 50s, 60s mercy beat songwriting. I mean, that's what Kim loved. People assume that she listened to the Ramones and Joan Jett all day, but she did not. She listened to Herman's Hermits and the early Kinks. You know, she didn't like the Kinks past like 68. You know what I mean? Like Kim, she that's what she loved. So
How about the Who? Is she influenced by the Who?
I mean, yes, she liked the Who, but to be honest, like that's not what she didn't play that stuff in the van like me and Roy. You know what I mean? Like she liked that mercy, but she liked the Honeycombs and the Gants. You know, these are obscure mercy beat 60s bands. I mean, so yeah, her underneath all that screaming and fuzz and stuff, yeah, there is a very melodic
100%.
pop song under there, and this one's not necessarily the best example of this, but and then she added her thing, which was like funny chords in there, chord progressions that aren't normal. I mean, a lot of our stuff is deceptively simple sounding, but it's not. Again, this one is not so complex, but this is a fan favorite. Look, looking at the record, there are 3 songs we played every show after this record, or even before the record came out, and this is one of them. And Onina's always in there. It's the one that this is well before Kim was in the Pixies. They had asked Kim to fill in for Kim Deal for this benefit, and it was only like 4 songs, and they were going to do one of the 4 songs going to be a Muffs song, and they chose to do Onina. So,
wow.
Yeah, and that one is not on YouTube. You can see like another one that Kim did, but yeah, the Pixies played Onina, and I wasn't able to get a ticket and get in, and I have not heard it. So,
So did Kim sing it, or did Frank Black sing it?
No, I think Charles, Frank, Black, whatever you want to call him. Yeah, no, he sang it, so he would have done the scream.
Wow.
I think I'm pretty sure on that. I'm pretty sure Kim didn't sing it, but yeah, that was her first time playing with the Pixies. Little knowing she'd end up in the band, but
Wow.
but yeah, Onina is yeah. I mean, it's for better or worse. It's one of our main.
Is
songs.
Nina a person?
Nina's not a person. Nina is fictional. It's funny in retrospect. People are like, "Well, it's about Nina Gordon." We didn't know Nina Gordon at the time. We met them on the tour for this record.
That's what I had heard too.
Yeah, so I think Nina just rhymed with Pasadena. Again, I don't. There's not like a heavy narrative going on there.
Yeah, I thought it was Nina Gordon too.
Yeah, no. In fact, somebody just wrote that, and it's just like, no, not yet. But again, after we toured and became like best friends with Veruca Salt, I mean, we would joke about it all the time, and yeah, even write Gordon on a set list every now and then, just to amuse ourselves.
Oh, yeah, Gordon.
So.
I love that. Can we talk about the recording team that recorded Blonde and Blonder?
Please, Blonder and Blonder, Jeff.
Oh, everybody says Blonde and Blonder.
Which makes it a cross between Blonde on Blonde.
Blonder and Blonder.
Clearly there.
It's okay. Hey, as long as you refer to it as something, I'm fine with that.
As long as you refer to it.
Yeah.
No, we need to get it right. Yeah. Right, Soraya? We need to get this right.
Always.
Soraya, just stick with getting things right. I always just throw things out there. So. But,
no, please. I'd love to talk about the production team.
Yeah, so Jerry Finn, right? And Neil King. Did I get the names right?
Yeah. Well, it was produced by Rob Cavallo, and I think it says the Muffs. And when you see the Muffs on this production credit, it means Kim mainly. I mean, I would show up and eat, red vines and the meals and watch TV and play ping pong. I'm not the best studio. I'm not what you call a studio rat. But yeah. So Rob, produced it again. And he had met Jerry Finn to engineer it. I'm pretty sure all of Dookie, if not, most of Dookie. And we hit it off, and they hit it off, and then we met Jerry, and we totally hit it off. Jerry Finn was the greatest guy to work with. He had all these terms, like he'd run the drums through what he called the finulator, and just always joking. And Jerry went on after. I'll say after this, it was really after Dookie, to become a producer in his own right, and he produced like the 4 big Blink 182 records, and he went on to work with Morrissey on his last records. And Jerry sadly passed away probably about 10 years ago now at age 40 or 42 of a very rare heart ailment. And just, yeah, so sad because his career was really going. It's funny, and Joey's so humble. When he left his second engineering job, he was like, look, when this is over, this whole hype thing, I'd like my job back, being an engineer here at the studio. So that's kind of guy Jerry was. And then Neil King, if you look up Neil King was a English guy who assisted engineering on things like Trust by Elvis Costello and East Side Story by Squeeze and Dr. Feelgood's A Case of the Shakes, and just all these great records that I love. And again, that's another guy that Rob met up in the Bay Area. And Neil King still checks in and says hi. And yeah, just an honor to see his name on our record.
That's incredible.
So,
wow.
Yeah. And then should also mention Sally Browder, who recorded a lot of the guitar overdubs. Sally was a great engineer, and she ended up working with a lot of the Epitaph acts. She ended up becoming a producer as well. So yeah, all these people springboarded to bigger things. Including Rob. Rob ended up winning a Grammy for his production work later for Alanis Morissette, and became a producer basically, instead of an A&R guy. So yeah,
Wow.
What a crew. But that's why the
Yeah.
record sounds. That's why the record sounds so good, right?
Yeah, it sounds amazing.
And Kim, we always had to like get our say in there. So Kim, taking that production credit was very important to her. That's why we were never produced by like Andy Johns. We never hired like a big producer. We Kim always liked to have her say in there, and that was important to her. And the major label years were great for us. So no one ever like asked us to like remix for radio and all that kind of thing. That said, we didn't really get on the radio. We could have done things maybe to help it along like that, but the records don't sound trendy or of their time. You know what I mean? They're I hate to use the word timeless because it sounds so grand, but
it's true though. They still
Yeah.
stand up,
Yeah.
they still stand and are relevant. So there you go.
No, especially this record. Everything, because there are some things on the first album that sound of their time, things like Better Than Me, and things sound grungy, and maybe not the best song in the world, but everything kind of came together for this record.
That debut is great too, but I prefer Blonder and Blonder. All right, Soraya, but you want to talk about the single from the album? Right? There is a single.
Well, okay, so I'm next, I guess. Okay. So we'll talk about it after. Let's listen to Sad Tomorrow.
Yes.
Yo.
I don't even know
Damn.
Yeah, that's
So good.
Here's what I love, Ronnie, about this album. So, okay, we've got people just think of Kim and the scream and the intensity, but then you've got these sweet melodies and you have all these different musical traditions, influences coming in, because then you have songs that have like a definite country western tone to it, very kind of mellow. And so you guys just run the whole gamut. You got Cat. See, Cat wanted to be a part of it.
Machine.
This is why I think this album shows so much of the range of the band, but also of Kim's songwriting. Because 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 9 seconds, tomorrow. Boom. And listen to this line, right? This just these 3 lines. When I do as I please, I'm no different to me. Am I crazy or have good luck? Beautiful. I love this song.
That is a good line. I don't hear the lyrics that I played that song hundreds of times. I had no idea. That's a good line. Yeah, no. Thanks for noticing, Soraya. Yeah, I mean, if I was to play a definitive, what do the Muffs sound like? I mean, this would be a perfect song. And like you say, it's all 2 minutes and 9 seconds. It's got people would always be like, "Well, your songs are so short," and we'd be like, "Look, there's like three verses, 2 verses, 3 choruses, a bridge, an ending,
So I really
weird chords."
I wanted to ask you though, was that just Kim's style or like she just felt she didn't need to make a song go on longer than she felt it was right, or that the band did?
No, that's her whole style. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just no frills. I mean, I know as a live act, we grew later to kind of have a few songs where we would stretch out, if you will. But yeah, no frills, no nothing you don't need, no fat. Yeah, and that song, I mean, that's another one that we played every show from henceforth, and yeah, it's got those funny chord progressions and a weird chord thrown in the end of the solo.
Got that 6th chord.
Is that what it's called, Joy?
A 6th chord.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. I gotta just give my little 2 cents here. Was talking to, so I made my picks. Jeff made me pick first, and I made my picks, but then I was waffling around, and Sarai's like, "Well, I'm not gonna pick until tomorrow." And so I talked to her. We were talking privately about other things, but I talked to her, and I'm like, "Well, what are your picks?" I said, and she goes, "Well, you can switch. You can switch one if you want." And I'm like, "Well, if you're not gonna pick, if no one's gonna pick Sad Tomorrow, I may switch." And she's like, "I'm thinking about that one." So I wanted to make sure that somebody talked about it because it's such a good song. And that 6th chord and that last note that she ends on just sends me right back to the end of that chord and She Loves You by the Beatles.
Right? There's a little Beatles vibe in this song.
Yeah. And then here's something else that's really weirdly connected with me too, is it's no secret that my favorite mod LA band is The Question, and Tony Rugolo and Phil Cusimano wrote a song called Love You Girl, and that last note in Sad Tomorrow is what influenced and inspired Phil for the music for that song Love You Girl. And I thought that was really interesting. That's too awesome. He bought the album, heard it, and went, I love that. And of course, he's a Beatles fan too, but decided, Love You Girl. And it kind of goes off that note.
You had to get a plug in for The Question here, didn't you? I thought we were.
Yeah, no, but look, it inspired a whole other.
I love the story. I'm just kidding. First of all, I want to hear more about these private conversations, but maybe later.
Usually dishes, they're boring.
Yeah, no. No, I also want to point out this is a great representation of the drumming of Roy McDonald. Let's give it up for Roy, because I mean Roy, Roy's drumming, it really stands out on this one, as it does on everything. But you know what I'm saying. And also say, when I was talking earlier about how this is our big kind of swing, this is the song that we did a video that cost $60,000. It was directed by Green Day's, the guy who did like Basket Case and all the Dookie videos. His name was Mark Kohr, Kohr. If I'm mispronouncing that, I'm sorry. But you can still see this video. It's a great video. It's shot in a pawn shop. The pawn shop was open while we did it.
Oh.
And it's all one shot. Everything changes in this one shot. So that's why things just move boom, boom, boom. But it's the same if you pick up on it, it's the same background and things are just happening. And a couple of things were hired. The mariachi band's cameo, they were hired. And but the guy with the violin, he was a regular that would come in. This is a pawn shop in Hollywood on Santa Monica Boulevard. He would come in and pawn his violin every day. So we're like, hey, you want to be in the video? And he got in the video. So that was really fun.
Is the pawn shop still in existence?
It is. And I'll have to get back to you with the name of it. There's another band who I've forgotten their name. A couple of years ago, wrote me, and they did a video in that same pawn shop as an homage to our video, which is nice. So, yeah.
I love all these links to the Muffs.
Oh yeah, no, a lot.
All these links. I love
a lot was happening this year for us. I mean, I don't want to get off topic with the record, but I mean, when we toured this record and we got the call from Amy Heckerling wanting us to do a song for Clueless, and we were on the road. Of course, they needed it yesterday, right? And we were given the choice between Kids in America and All by Myself by Eric Carmen.
Please tell me there's a demo of you guys doing All by Myself.
I wish I could say there was, Soraya. I mean, I love the song, but yeah, the Muffs weren't gonna do a great version of All by Myself. So, so we chose Kids in America, and we did it while we were on tour in New York City. We scheduled an additional day off, and we did it at Electric Lady Studios, the place Hendrix built, and you know, that's the thing about our career. There's all these just like cool things like that. Like, wow, we recorded an Electric Lady. Wow, we did this. We did a Aaron Spelling. Oh, let me get back to Kids in America. So we did Kids in America, and I just want to add the person who ended up doing All by Myself was Jewel. Before her record took off, and her song didn't even make the soundtrack, didn't even make the record. It's barely in the film, and
wow.
As everyone probably knows, Kids in America is like the theme of Clueless. So,
where's the gold album? Where's the album?
Sorry, it's platinum.
Platinum. Sorry, forgive me.
I'll get it if you wish.
He's in his boom boom room. I can see that.
No, I mean, when you got a platinum record, you got to show that sucker off.
There it is.
Look at that baby boy.
Gosh.
Bam!
Oh my gosh, look at that.
The beautiful thing.
Yes.
Gorgeous thing.
Sorry. And if I may, have I told the story about us actually getting that award? Have I told the story on this podcast before?
You shared it here, but I want you to share it again.
Okay. So, you know, the album went gold really quick. It was gold. And I would always tell our manager, like, can we please get the gold record award? I'd love to have it, right? Soundtracks on Capitol. God, this is another related story. You know, we're on Reprise. The soundtrack's on Capitol. Kids in America should have been a single. Would have been it's kind of our hit single that wasn't a single, right? But the labels could not get it together because we're a Reprise act, and why should we sell something on Capitol? So it never became a proper single. Anyway, went gold. For years. I was like, you know, I really want this gold record. It couldn't happen. I got, you know, all these excuses. So years ago, you know, the band knew I wanted it. They were going to give it to me if there was only one, right? So cut to the 20-year anniversary. So this is like 5 years ago. They're releasing Clueless soundtrack on vinyl for the first time. And we get a call from Universal, who owns it now, asking if we'd be willing to do press. And we're like, sure, of course. So I write the publicist and say, look, I've got a great idea. This is me. This is how my head works. I got a great idea. We've never met Kim Wilde. Kim Wilde presents us with our gold record. It'd be a great press angle, right? And she's like, she writes me back and says, first off, it's platinum now. And secondly, she lives in England, but you know, I don't know. I'll keep it in mind, you know, good idea, whatever. Okay, cut to about 3 months later. We're going to offer to be on this VH1 morning show called Morning Joe, I believe. Not Morning Joe.
Joe?
Whatever. What's it called?
Was it Cup of Joe?
I don't know.
It was
Something. Yeah,
March,
because Joe's in my head. You might be right. Anyway, it was hosted by Nick Lachey and from 98 Degrees, who was married to Jessica Simpson. They had that reality show, if you guys remember.
I
Yeah.
remember.
Newlyweds. Yep, Newlyweds. Poor Nick. Anyway, so we got offered, they wanted us to play Kids in America live, right? Which we had never done. Like back in the day, we kind of attempted it and it would always fall apart after the first chorus because it's so different from our regular songwriting, right? Because there's none of those funny chords and stuff. And so we never played it live. And so we had to learn it. So I wrote the publicist in advance. I go, I got a great idea. They present us with our platinum record on the show. And she's like, oh yeah, whatever. We'll keep it in mind. Sweeps me under the rug. We get there, we play the song and we're being interviewed. And Irma, we're being interviewed and I see the box and I'm like, oh my God, we're going to get it. And Nick Lachey presents us with our platinum record. And
Yeah.
I raised it above my head in triumph. And
Yes.
we all got them and stuff. And I think Kim kept hers under her bed. Yeah. So without me being the squeaky wheel, we would not have that platinum record. And that show went off the air, the morning show, like about 3 months later. So
You got your record, and
Nice.
you're preserved
Yeah,
on radio,
I never-
being presented with it by Nick Lachey.
yes.
That's awesome.
Yes. I never thought it would be Nick Lachey to present it to us, but it did. And yeah, we have this record. So
I love it.
Super awesome. Super awesome.
Do we have an Irma
getting
sighting?
back to Blonder and Blonder. She just clawed at me. Oh, come here.
Well,
come here.
before
Come here.
is she gonna
I
make an
need an
appearance?
Irma sighting.
Aw.
There's my girl.
Look at that sweet.
Aw.
She said, if you're trotting out the platinum record, I come too.
Yeah.
So
No, she
before-
tends to just claw my back and my legs. Yeah. Why I'm
Before we
doing
move away from Sad Tomorrow, I have this stack of Muffs singles here. One of them is Sad Tomorrow, which has a B-side that's not on Blonder and Blonder. And that CD single has 2 songs, if I remember correctly. Do you know if they were songs that were recorded in the same session? So this one's Good Night Now. And then there was another one. Do you happen to recall? All recorded at the same session?
They were recorded this. They were. We actually had 2 outtake songs. And we probably recorded them for that purpose,
Okay.
But yeah, they recorded the same sessions, and that's our English single. There's a CD single of it. There's not a 12-inch single. I wish there was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Red.
there you go. Red vinyl.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Red vinyl before, back when it wasn't so trendy. Now everything's on colored vinyl.
I love colored vinyl.
And Ronnie, you have a little hole.
We all.
It's got a little hole.
Oh, we have the little hole. Thank you, Jeff.
Okay.
Yeah, I think most English singles in that era had the little hole, not the big one. I would say that was more common, just as a record nerd speaking. But yeah, we had the English, single with a non-LP B-sides. That was a dream come true too. And it was released in vinyl over there. Our first album was not released on vinyl at the time, but Blonder actually got a vinyl release over there on black vinyl and over here on red vinyl. So
Nice.
not sure how many they pressed, but it was not too many at the time.
Yeah, that was a time when vinyl wasn't getting pressed too often, right?
No, and especially domestic, like it was unusual to have. A lot of things were coming out on the import vinyl, like Babes in Toyland, Fontanelle, that came out on import vinyl. But to get the domestic vinyl, that was special. So they did Irma.
Wow.
Jesus.
She said,
Wow.
vinyl schminal.
She's wow.
She's an artist.
Love her.
I'm sure it's more attractive to look at. Yeah, her side, but
All right, Joy, how about we play another song?
Okay, well, before we play the song, I kind of want to just say what I want to say about this record because, you are crediting me for having the idea to do the show. So
Absolutely.
I'm just kidding. But I do want to say something about it. I think the reason why this is my favorite one, and I have, a few of the other ones, the Muffs in general are just such a straightforward band. I just love how the music is very straightforward. Sometimes it's really deliciously in your face, like we were talking, and other times it can be very soft and melodic, and then the next one is these head pounding guitars and you know, Roy doing his best Keith Moon, you know, ripping it up, and I love that. I love that. And it always seems like everybody is at their 100%. You know, we've seen Ronnie all take a nap on stage because he's just giving it all, giving it all. Roy comes off drenched. And of course there's Kim just, you know, 90 miles an hour the whole time. And if I could be a rock star, a girl rock star, I would be just like Kim. I adored her and I miss her so much as a performer. I think she's got one of the top 5 greatest screams in rock and roll.
Agreed.
Men and women in that top 5, and she would be there. And I guess the thing that really makes me always think of her is that quote that Chrissy Hind had, where she said, don't think that sticking your boobs out, you know, and trying to look sexy is going to, well, I think she said fuckable. Try to look fuckable is going to help you. This is rock and roll. You're in a rock and roll band. It's not fuck me, it's fuck you. And I love that. Everyone says, you like all these angry girl songs, these angry girl groups. And I don't really consider them angry, but just really strong. And that's how Kim always came across to me. And also just funny as hell, but never compromising the fact that she was there to rock your ass off. That said, I chose Funny Face. This is one of those ones that is very melodic and softer. And it's got this descending note structure from the get-go, right out of the gate, that I absolutely love. I mean, 3 seconds into the song, I'm like, I'm gonna love this one. And if you notice, a lot of other songs have that, but not like that. The one that really came to my mind is the song I Can't Reach You by The Who, off Who Sell Out. It's got kind of that descending structure. And when that was pointed out to me, it made sense why I love this song so much. I'm a big Who fan. And that's one of the reasons why I asked if she was also a Who fan. Obviously, they were a fan of hers because they posted that big thing.
Thanks for bringing that up. I love that too. Yeah.
Yeah, that was, I remember I sent you that picture, and of course you told me like 5 people had sent you that picture. They were also at that concert.
No, which don't feel bad about that. I couldn't see that enough.
So
I finally got to be at the Hollywood Bowl. Jesus.
Yes,
Finally,
yeah,
that's close.
yeah.
I'll get to performing there. Yeah.
Yeah, Soraya and I were like taken to church that night. It was great, but it was so nice to see that. And one other thing about Funny Face is, if you have not seen the YouTube video of Nina Gordon and Louise Post from Veruca Salt doing this with Kim with just an acoustic guitar, it is beautiful. It is amazing. And when you get to the very end, you see Kim in her best. She just lets out this like at the end of it, and it's great. And if I can remember when this comes out, I'll post a link to that. So anyway, here's Funny Face.
Great pick.
Excellent.
Such a good song.
So Waltz. Yeah, no, that is oh my God.
Yes.
We love you.
She's being, see, her nickname's the Hellion. Now you know. Yeah, that one has always been a fan favorite. We have done it live on occasion. We didn't play it too much, but no, it's a beautiful song, and I'm glad you pointed that out, Joy, about those kind of songs. I mean, there's another one, Just a Game, on this record. Like,
yes.
I mean, that's why we get labeled like a punk band or whatever. Like, I mean, it's a little more going on than that. But that said, I'm so proud that we were able to play punk festivals and play garage festivals and play power pop festivals, and kind of always thought we could open for anybody, but see what's going on with all this. But Yeah, no, and I'm glad you pointed out that version that Nina and Louise and Kim do on and I'm glad they released that from their podcast, which never actually aired.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Well, it
Yeah,
really showcases how beautiful Kim's voice is. You know, like everyone says, oh, she's got this rasp, and everyone loves the rasp, and I love it too. But
yeah.
she also can harmonize like nobody's business.
Oh, she
And
loves singing harmony. Like
oh,
that
so
that
good.
was a big thing she did in her in the Pandoras. She loves singing harmonies. Like yeah, that was one of her things. So that was, you tell how happy she is in that clip. And then let's face it, singing with Nina and Louise, I mean, you're just gonna sound good. I mean,
Right.
those two, the voice of angels, all of them. So
All of them.
yeah, yeah. So no,
They-
love Funny Face, and Funny Face ended up in a movie called Angus, which was big at the time, and it's a very poignant part of the film. So I gotta say, we had a lot of soundtrack and movie appearances over the years, and it's generally like a big part of the film. I gotta say, like it's not, we don't have a
I
lot
gotta check
is,
that out.
yeah, there are not a lot where it's like a brief appearance in like a background of a convenience store or something. Like it's
Mm.
in Bye Bye Love, Jack Black is playing Saying Goodbye as a DJ at a party, and it's in there for a long time, like over a minute, which is a long time in movie minutes. So um
Yeah.
yeah. And talking about that, I just want to say, when I was talking about a lot of stuff going on this year, we also got tapped to be in a Aaron Spelling produced TV show called Crosstown Traffic, which I have a copy of. And the plot involves a stalker stalking Kim, and he's got his lair, and he points a gun at her, and the police commissioner is Tone Loc, and Aaron Spelling at the time, like Melrose Place, still my favorite show of all time. But come on, and it didn't get picked up, so I'm lucky to have a copy of it. But
Wow.
yeah, I mean, what would happen at the time really is like they would these places would tap Warner Brothers, in Reprise, and say, what bands do you have? And they'd get sent like Mudhoney, Babes in Toyland, and us, and we'd get the gig. You know what I mean? Like,
Wow.
so yeah. But thanks for picking that song, Joy. That's always a favorite of ours too,
You're
even if we
welcome.
didn't play it every
It's
night.
worthy, very worthy.
And another Muff song ends up
Yeah.
on a new Netflix release, right? With not a Muffs version, but a Muff song with the Netflix show Moxie, right?
That's right. It's a what's a Netflix movie? Yeah, it's directed by Amy Poehler, and yeah, us and Bikini Killer are the featured songs. So that's very nice to see this band of and they got in touch with me a few years ago. They grew up being Muffs fans. In fact, there's a picture of us playing, and you can see the Lenda Lendas, the band of young girls, like dancing in the background, like holding hands. It's really sweet. So it's great they got that show, that got that gig, and that they let the Linda Lindas actually do the version. Like they're not just lip syncing to another version; they're lip syncing to their own version. So
Nice.
yeah, always great to see. Come on, us paying attention still. I mean, it's amazing to me.
Nice.
I'll never get tired of that.
All right, so I picked another Face song off Blonder and Blonder. I Need a Face, and the first chorus or two, the way that Kim sings Face is fairly pleasant, but then as the song progresses, the way she pronounces face gets a little bit stronger. So yeah, it's another one of those songs that I just can't get out of my head. So I thought we'd listen to I Need a Face. Ronnie, where's the face? What about Roy McDonald?
Damn.
Right? Just isolate his track on that one.
Yeah. So Ronnie, I was wondering, because the aggression, I guess, in Kim's voice, I hope you didn't have to do that song too many times in the studio, because how many times could she record that?
I
Wow.
don't know. The thing about Kim, we never canceled a show. She never lost her voice on the road. Like there were times where it didn't feel so great, and she would drink the whatever throat coat or whatever, things like that, on the road. But she never lost her voice on the road. And it's actually like she's not screaming out loud as you think. She knew how to make it sound loud on the mic, if that makes any sense. So, you know, she wasn't just screaming, you know, all the time. But yeah, it's quite astounding because, you know, singers lose their voice, you know, they don't
All the
scream
time.
all the time, all the time. So yeah, that's an amazing thing. I also want to point out I'm doing some rare upper neck work on that song, if you notice,
Yeah.
at the end and in the last verse. Okay. I tend to play as low as possible at any given moment is my style. But on that one, come on, some high notes. All right. Can't hear them that well, but
you got a little McCartney on there for a bit.
yeah, you know, thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. I love that song. This is a favorite of mine too. And that we still played that one every now and then, you know, to the end. It was a fun one to throw in there. And I got to say the best story about this song, and this illustrates pure Kim. It was actually our first show with Roy. It was April of '94. This was within 2 days of Kurt Cobain committing suicide. Okay. It was either the day after or the day after that. It was no more than 2 days later. And Kim introduced the song, it's a Club Lingerie, and said, this song's for Kurt Cobain. It's called I Need a Face.
Wow.
It's still too soon for that, right? I mean,
wow. Oh wow.
Now what? Okay, here's another tie-in though. What about the title of the album?
Oh, well, first off, it's always hard to think of a title of a record, right? We never would have a working title. It'd always be last minute. Yeah, that would. A couple months later, we did a tour of the West Coast to kind of tune up before we went in the studio, and oh God, here we go again.
Here she comes.
Yes. Yeah, and so we played Seattle, and so yeah, this would have been shortly after that show. So because it was, or maybe, you know, within a month or two, it was one of the, if not the first time Courtney Love was out after Kurt Cobain's death. It was amongst one of her first public appearances. She came to our show for whatever reason in Seattle, and I remember, you know, she would always kind of, we didn't know her well, but we ran in similar circles. And she'd always kind of make cracks sometimes about, you know, because the girls in our band started wearing baby doll dresses, and, you know, if you listen to the music, it doesn't sound the same at all. But you know, we got a girl that screams, but so she'd make little cracks here and there, and so after the show in Seattle, we're all kind of talking with people afterwards, and I'm the one that heard it. She walked by, and Kim had just dyed her hair blonde, and Courtney just kind of walked by and goes, "Blonder and blonder," and I heard it, and I was like, "Ding!"
Nice.
So
there's our title.
There's our title.
So did that ever get back to Courtney, that title was influenced on?
Knowing Courtney and knowing how on top of everything she is, probably we didn't. To be honest, we've not seen her a lot since. I mean, last time I saw Courtney was in '97 at a party for this band Kaniki that was on Warner Brothers, who played with Sleater Kinney, and this is a good story. So those bands played at the Troubadour, and at the parties at Dan Tana's, Irma, really. And Courtney walked in. I'm standing there, and Courtney's, you know, whatever, saying hi to people, and then she's like, "Oh, this is Ronnie. He used to talk to me when I was fat. No one else would talk to me." Introduced me to her assistant, and I was like, I shrugged. I'm like, "Yeah, it's true, it's true." And and that night, you know, she actually hung with me a lot that night, and at the end of the night, she gave me a kiss on the lips, and I haven't talked to her since. But I think we're fine with Courtney, you know.
Nice.
But
so
yeah,
you influenced the title.
Yep. So hey, it's a good title.
Yeah. Yeah. If I can say it right, it's good. It's good.
So nothing to do with Bob Dylan. A lot of people think that because blonde on blonde, but you know, let them think that. It's good. It's good for people to wonder about stuff.
Wait. So speaking of Dylan, I understand that there's some connection to a song or two, or the band, or
Yeah, this will
What's
go
it?
into like just our crazy career category. Bob Dylan had a radio show for a while called Theme Music, Theme Time Radio, or something like that. You guys probably know about that. And he played a Muffs song on his Theme Time Radio. So
wow.
it's a great intro. I have a copy of it somewhere. And the theme, every show would have a theme. So the theme of this show was flowers. So he did this great intro where he quotes, God, I want to say it's Keats or some famous poet. You know, he's like, Keats said, flowers, blah, 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 you know, blah, 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 blah. That was his way of saying it. Kim Shattuck and the Muffs got a different way of putting it. And then they plays Laying on a Bed of Roses.
Damn.
Yeah. So
Wow.
again, Bob Dylan doesn't. I remember Kim at the time. Like he said my name because he said Kim Shattuck and the Muffs. Yeah. So,
Wow.
you know, yeah, lot of. We have a lot of good stories like that. Just things. A lot of things happen to us along the way that are just when we were. I'll just go back a little bit just because it's a good story. When we were, when we had signed to Warner Brothers and we were trying to decide what label to put us on, Madonna had started Maverick Records, and they thought maybe we should be on Maverick Records. So Madonna had our demo tape up where she was making Body of Evidence in Oregon, and her manager Freddie DeMann came to our practice. Freddie DeMann went on to manage Michael Jackson, and anyway, he came to our little practice room and listened to us screaming and playing loud. It's just amazing. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
All these connections. I mean, major artists.
Hello, Nobel laureates.
Yeah.
Hello, Dylan, Nobel laureate, platinum records, all these links. Ronnie Barnett, you are the man. You're the connection. You're the nucleus.
We're the Kevin Bacon of whatever this is.
And Jeff, I don't know if you've noticed, but the three of us that own cats, Joy, Ronnie, and myself, all the cats have joined in. I'm convinced Kim Shattuck is sending them messages. Hey, go in front of the camera. Go. It'll be a great joke.
No, I think you're right, Soraya. Because Irma doesn't do this usually. Like she's right here too. She's in a mood right now. So
well, thank you, Kim, because you've sent all the cats in front of the screen. So you all need to watch the YouTube episode.
Yeah.
I love it.
If my tortoise walks across the screen, I don't know.
Then I'm convinced.
Please.
It was Kim. Yeah.
All right, Soraya, let's play another tune.
All right. So my pick, and we'll talk about it after, is Red-Eyed Troll.
Yes. Was that Lee Rocker on bass? Holy smokes, Ronnie.
Dang, Ronnie.
Hey, that song, that was one of our best live songs throughout our career.
Good live.
Yeah, and we learned to milk that little pause there and do something funny. If you saw us live, which I know all you guys did, but always look for props and stuff to use, and just whatever, just talk. I don't know. Me and Kim talking. I mean, just whatever. But yeah, that song has it. I mean, the bit at the end. I mean, it's just very, very good live. The ending itself. Yeah, the screen. And I gotta say, so this will tie into the Paisley angle of the podcast. Sarai, you mentioned earlier that Kim had different influences, like including country. Well, I can tell you, Kim didn't sit around listening to Waylon Jennings. Her country influence and what influenced that song is "Call on Me" by the Bangles.
Oh.
Yeah, that was one of her favorite songs.
Damn.
Yeah, and yeah. So
see, that guitar part reminds me of country western song, but I think I'm actually thinking more like Tex-Mex, because it's like that dun, 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 dun. But these lyrics, all right?
Yeah.
Little I know what you say about me. What I got is what you want from me. And then she goes into the best ending ever. I don't care what you do to me because I don't like you. Why can't you see, you piece of shit, now, you fucking jerk? You really bore me, you stupid girl. I love the energy of the song. Love this song. But it's like, this is what I like about Kim's writing is she can literally go for the jugular and then end on the super melodic tip, you know?
Yeah.
So like she goes, you stupid girl. And then she moves into this moment where you're like, wait, what just happened? Did I just get hit upside the head? And you hear this beautiful voice come out and you're like, I think I got my ass kicked, but I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
So this was the other song that I was, if nobody was going to take it, I was going to maybe switch because I love it. It is so exactly what she says, where she just like ripped someone's guts out and then, is, afterwards all melodic. And then you spoke about how great it is live. The video that Jeff took at the Amoeba show, this is another reason why it's one of my favorites live, is because at just about the 17-minute mark during this song, Ronnie looks over at me and he goes, "Hi, Joy." And you can see it in the video.
Nice.
I have a poster from that show. So
there it is.
Beauty.
So
yeah, in stores where you can see every person watching you in the broad light. It's a little different, but yes.
Call on me.
So May 24th. So Joy, we went to the show together. Did you happen to, somebody ripped this off from the wall from Amoeba? Was that you?
No.
I don't know how we
If it was
got
me,
these.
I would have kept it.
So I don't know if Chris got it for us or
He must have.
Greg got it. I wouldn't have done that. I'm too self-conscious about pulling stuff from the walls that doesn't belong to me. But
I'll
It
take
wasn't
the
me.
credit. I'll take the credit on that.
Ronnie
I
did
did
it.
it for you, Jeff. Yeah.
okay, thanks, Ronnie. I appreciate it.
I want to say, unlike Nina, this one is actually about a person, and it's about someone I dated, and an altercation happened, and I remember Kim saying she looked up at me and she was like a red-eyed troll.
Wow. Wow.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I might have a guess, but I won't
So-
do it publicly.
Yeah, everybody became friends and stuff, so all good. But yeah, a lot of Kim songs are about not liking people or things, or
Which I
And,
love.
and I gotta say, as far as movies, this one figures prominently in a movie called National Lampoon's Senior Trip. Tommy Chong is driving a school bus, and Red Eye Troll again is in it for like over a minute. Not the most high profile film of all time, but Tommy Chong, folks. All right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very nice.
And Tommy Chong introduced us at a festival in Canada 2 years before, by the way. And we took picture with him, and me and Jim Ospiza got to grill him about Cheech and Chong products, and the candle on the wedding album, the insert and stuff. So
Wow.
yeah.
You
Another
need to
Ronnie.
dig that out and post it. I haven't seen
Yeah.
that picture, so you haven't
Okay.
posted it.
Yeah.
there's a couple. I posted it, but it's been a while. I could repost it at this point.
Hey, Ronnie, I got a question
And
for you about Blonder and Blonder. Since I've spent the last 3 weeks of my life working on graphic design for our CD, the graphic designer on this, Jerry Hayden, is that who did this?
yes, Jeff, I'm glad you brought up Jerry. Jerry Hayden is a giant in the art direction world. She was the head of the art department at Warner Bros. That was another great thing about being on the major label. You would get like $8,000 for just artwork budget, and Jerry was the head of the department. We were lucky to work with her. If you look her up, she still works on major projects, but she did things like Madonna records, and before us, she did Van Halen's Balance record, which she did other Van Halen records too. But I remember her joking about them insisting on using Valerie Bertinelli's like brother's photography. Like there's a picture inside of an egg balancing on Eddie's guitar, and like she's like, yeah, I had to use this. So we really got along well with Jerry, but just no, Jerry's done like Eagles, Don Henley. I mean, just everything, and continue to work, and she's done tons of iconic covers that everyone watching this would know and be like, holy, excuse my expression, holy fuck, she did that cover, So you know, Madonna's Vogue, Madonna's You Can Dance, Madonna's, you know, erotica. Yeah, everything, you know. Tom
Wow.
Petty, she did all the Tom Petty, Warner Brothers stuff, continues to do those Tom Petty reissues. So it was a great honor to work with Jerry. And even to skip ahead to Happy Birthday, we work with someone named we work with a great lady named Christine Cano, who did the Johnny Cash American recordings, all those covers and stuff. She did
Wow.
Johnny Cash right before us. You know, it's amazing to sit in an art department office and just see the latest project in a folder, and it's Johnny Cash. And she told us things like, Johnny Cash, his only thing he said was no pictures from behind. He didn't want to show the bald spot.
Oh.
Oh,
I could relate to that.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, I got a story for that too, but I won't.
Oh.
Jesus.
That's for the after hours.
That's after. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when we go blue.
Age after hours.
Yeah. But just, yeah, all things to work with such great people in all aspects of this record. I mean, it you know, a true blessing. And you know, and people are always like, well, you know, you spend all that money, you know, you gotta pay it back. Yeah, but you know, the major label system isn't built to where you're gonna necessarily get that money anyway. You know, like, so you may as well use them like a big bank and spend it all, and you know, have this thing exist that looks and sounds great. So
Yes.
Agreed. Yeah.
that's my take on it. And
Yeah.
if you're gonna start selling records enough to make money, then that's all gonna pay for itself anyway. So
And I love the cover. It's a great cover of you.
Yeah.
You guys-
yeah, we worked with a fashion photographer on that, like, you know, somebody who shot things for Vogue magazine and stuff. Alberto Talet, I think is his name. But yeah, the pro. Yep, he did that one too. He made us look nice.
Yeah.
So
Wasn't hard. It wasn't hard.
Not at
Yeah.
all.
yeah.
All right, Joy. I think you're gonna take us on a different turn for our last song.
I am. Yeah. So remember how I mentioned that she's in my top 5 rock and roll screamers? The
Yeah.
next one I picked, it's that one right out of the gate. And then I also mentioned the Chrissy Hine quote, and I have to say that our mutual friend Pat Thomas posted that not too long ago, and he pointed out that he probably has the most pure relationship with Ronnie out of all of us, and that's because he did not live here during the 90s, and he knows Ronnie just for Ronnie and
Oh.
not for the Muffs. And he wanted me to point that out to you. So,
He points that out to me all the time too.
well, I think he wanted it made public on the podcast.
I love
so
Pat.
that's your
Shout
shout out, Patrick. All right. So the last one that I picked is Ethel My Love. And I love the riff and the pounding bass and the scream right out of the gate. And again, it kind of reminded me of in talking with people about this, about the song Circles, also by The Who. So that's kind of why, you know, again, I see it in there, but, you know, maybe not. That riff does, you know, it's not owned or copyrighted. But the question for everybody, and especially you, Ronnie, is what is this about? Is this about a girl who wants a ring? Is it about Ethel Mertz? Is it about Ethel alcohol? So we'll let you answer that question afterwards. All right, Jeffy.
Joy, you're not kidding on that opening scream. Holy crap.
Is that great?
She would do that live too. Yeah.
I'm really interested in what you were saying, Ronnie, about her controlling that scream. That is something that's very interesting to me.
Yeah. It was all on the, it's not like I heard her screaming from across the stage. I know we have amps on and stuff, but yeah. She would explain this to people too, because people would always be like, how do you scream like that over and over? And, yeah, it's just controlled and on the mic, and she knew how to make it project big like
Wow.
that. This is a big song for us too. We You mentioned Circles, Joy, but I mean, this is just like garage rock. This is just a garage rock riff, right?
Yeah.
Um, you know,
That's
we
what I
learned,
meant when I was stumbling all over myself saying that, it's not owned or copyrighted. I realize it appears other places, but I did hear that.
Right. right. Um,
What
Yeah.
about Ethel My Love? Joy's
Yeah.
track.
yes, Ethel, my love. So Joy, I gotta say, picking who it's about, you were right. One of those things was right.
Oh,
No one? Ethel Mertz?
Ethel Mertz.
No,
Oh.
because
Yep.
she says something about Fred also in the lyrics, but I was like,
Exactly. Kim was going through a big I Love Lucy phase at the time. And yeah, it's got that line about being your Fred boy or something. Yeah.
yes,
Oh.
Yep. It's about Ethel
Wow.
Mertz. Yep.
crazy.
But yeah, I think I was starting to say, we learned when we learned how to like kind of formulate a live set, it's like, you start off with a bang and then you do a couple and then we would arrive on doing like a garagey one, generally a song 4. It would either be like Ethel or it would be I Need You.
Uh-huh.
Of course that changed and we ended up closing with Ethel a lot too. But we learned that spot, a garagey kind of rave up, slow burn. And again, we learned to kind of stretch out the middles and make them every performance of it special in its own way. We any of that stuff you saw us do where Roy's messing around and that was all off the cuff. I'm not saying we're like the Grateful Dead, but we did our thing and every performance that was special. So yeah, Ethel was like a great song for the set, so
Love it.
yeah.
Perfect.
So,
So
Omnivore re-released it right on vinyl. And that's where Joy and I went to see when you were promoting that at the Amoeba show.
Yeah.
And you guys did another show that I went to at the Casbah promoting it, record release for it. Am I correct that they're going to repress it? Did I hear that?
yeah, in fact, it's just they've just come in this week. I don't know if they're on the site or available yet, but yeah, first pressing on blue vinyl sold out. So this next pressing it's on black vinyl, but I'm actually excited about that because I didn't have the European one. In fact, I just learned about the European one a couple months ago. So I didn't think it was on black vinyl ever. So I was like, look, we all love colored vinyl. It's on 2 different colored vinyls. I'm excited to have it on black vinyl. So by this time it airs, I'm sure it will be available again. It's been out of print for a few months. That's how records work these days. Things tend to go in and out of print, and availability. And this even goes to big records. Rumors by Fleetwood Mac has been unavailable for like 3 months,
Really?
But there's not enough pressing plants, so things just kind of availability goes in and out, but yeah, Blonder and Blonder is back in print on vinyl, so people can get it again.
Nice.
So I want to use this opportunity so that Ronnie can plug the merch store.
Yes.
That's a good segue because all this stuff is we finally set up an online merch store. I mean, it's hard. We're not the greatest business people. It's hard for us to kind of get it together to do this stuff, but we hooked up with this company called Fulfillment Merch. They're on the East Coast, and they're great people. And we set up a merch store now, so you can get Muffs t-shirts. Because like people have been selling bootleg shirts
Yes.
on eBay. I mean, probably before Kim died, but definitely since Kim died, and all those ones you see ads for, those big t-shirt companies, they're mainly bootlegs too. Like I don't want to drop names, gotta know the exact names. I don't want to mess anything up. But yeah, somebody sent me some SCTV shirts recently. I look and there's one of Kim, a really horrible one. It's a bootleg. Yeah. So yeah, finally people can buy stuff. And
I got one.
It's really us. Thank you, Joy. It's really us. And yeah, we can start, having new shirts and stuff. And so yeah, all the records. We inherited the entire stock of Whoopie-Doo, our second to last record from 2014, from the former label, which went under. So that's available again. Whoopie-Doo was out of print. I looked on Discogs. The last one sold for $60 in January, and there are only 3 available. So people were trying to get $100. So don't pay those.
What format?
Go buy it for $15 from us on vinyl. So
Oh, see, I don't have it on vinyl.
yeah,
Okay.
everything. Everything's back. So
All right. Well,
you know.
my first order is coming today of official stuff from the site. So now I got to go back and buy what we do on vinyl.
Wow, it's actually arriving. Let me know if that I mean, you're the first person I've
If
heard
it
of
actually shows up, I got the thing. It's out for delivery. So
oh, nice.
today. I'm
What's good?
very excited.
It's good to know they're working. It's working well. I haven't heard anything. This just happened. I mean, and we had it in the works for months and months, and finally, like last week, it's like, okay, we're ready to launch, and I just launched it. All of a sudden, that day, same day, and there you go.
Well, we're gonna provide a link on our site to share it with new, old, and existing fans, any fan. So you can go to the site and buy stuff. Don't buy bootleg shirts or other things. And also, who doesn't want a copy of Whoop-De-Doo on vinyl?
Exactly.
Right. And all the reissues, the album 4 reissues are up there, and no holiday and everything too. So just
Perfect.
if we could get the rights for Alert today, we would reissue that next. But I don't know.
One thing at a time.
I just want to add too, since this song didn't get picked, the song "On and On" is very special to us too. Like that's another one we played every gig, and that shows our just pure power pop side. I mean, I think that song's like not even 2 minutes. I think it's 1:50. And like we said before, 1:45. It's got all the parts, no fat, but you wouldn't want it to be anymore. And we always loved "On and On." We played that song every show.
So was it "Oh Nina," "On and On," and "Sad Tomorrow" that were the 3 fan favorites played at every show?
Yes, and I gotta say,
I have that written down too to ask.
Yeah, "Agony" is not far behind there too. We basically played "Agony" almost every show too, but "Agony" with that big rave up, big ending, can only really be an opener or a closer. So
Right.
but yeah, I mean, again, I'm not saying I'm in the band, so it's hard for me to say. I mean, it's pretty solid song wise. I mean, "Won't Come Out to Play" was a great song to play live. Me and Kim, I can't sing, but I had to kind of fill the role when we became a 3-piece. And but "Won't Come Out to Play," you talk about Kim singing harmonies. She made me sound passable on that song when we do it live. So I really love "Won't Come Out to Play" too. Again, that's another power pop,
so good.
song. Yeah. So yeah, I don't want to disparage any song on here. There's one here I'm not that crazy about, but a lot of people are. So yeah, there you go. It's one that's 2 chords. I'll let you figure it out. It's one that's 2 chords towards the end. But again, a lot of people like it. So who am I to say?
I don't know. I can't figure it out. I'm confused. But I'll figure it out though.
Boom.
But this is a great album. Ronnie, do you have a personal favorite of yours? Joy and I have already mentioned that this is our personal favorite from the Muffs.
Album wise?
Yes.
Yeah, and I can speak for all 3 of us, because we would always say it. Our personal favorite is the next one, is "Happy Birthday to Me." Just song wise and everything. I mean, again, I'm not putting this one down at all. I love this one too. And I understand why it, largely defines us, I get it. But "Happy Birthday to Me" is just more special to all of us. And
that would be my next favorite too.
Yeah.
I mean, such a great album too.
It's a kind of a shame. I mean, we got dropped literally 2 months after it came out. But again, that one we were left on our own. Rob Cavallo got so busy that that one's produced by the Muffs, meaning produced by Kim. And Rob kind of checked in every now and then, but that's the one where we really did everything we wanted, and I think the songs are really special on that one. And the cover, it was our first cover with that. It was only our 3rd record. It was our first cover where we weren't on the cover. We're on the cover of most of our records. But and that's an interesting story. I mentioned Christine that did the graphic design. We're looking for photographers, and we just came across that image. Excuse me. It's the COVID test up the nose. I'm all sniffly now. We're looking through this book, and oh God, I'm gonna forget his name. Michael. Anyway, the photographer. We just found that photo. We just came across that photo of that elephant, and we're all just like, that's the cover. And it turned out he's the same photographer who shot the cover of All Shook Down by the Replacements.
I can see that. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, the black and white shot with the dogs. Yeah. So
Stylistic.
which I didn't learn until we did the reissue a few years ago. I went all the time without knowing it was the same photographer. So I was blown away, just like you or any fan person would be. And also, I mean, not that I'm just saying this because we're not doing an episode about Happy Birthday, but the graphics, all the old advertising stuff, like on the back and in the inner booklet. That was a guy who worked in advertising. Again, I can't remember his name. Like in the 50s and maybe even the 40s. He was like,
wow.
Submitted his portfolio, same deal, to Warner Brothers, for other work. And we just found all this existing work that we just appropriated and used in our package. And that's some of the most special, defining graphics. Like when people have Muffs tattoos, it's generally that little angel on the back. That was this guy's design. And
Wow.
so yeah. Again, blessed to work and have things just fall into place and things were, everything was so easy and organic, that first, 10 years at least. I mean, everything was we just followed a path. It was like we're like on a stream, just kind of going down the stream, and it's just taking us here and there and doing this and that. And it really is special. And I'm glad I recognized it at the time. I recognized it more at the end of our career, how special all this was. But I was able to take it in at the time and appreciate it and not take it for granted. Kind of stuff doesn't happen to everybody. So,
no.
And that goes for our relationship, the three of us. I mean, a lot of bands call it a family. We really were a family. I mean, yeah, there were fights, but yeah, we would always end up hugging each other at the end. And it's hard to, as most musicians will tell you, it's hard to, you got to get along on all these different levels, musical, personal, whatever. And we did, and we all loved each other, and it was special. And I'd like to think you can tell when you
can
when you hear our records. Yeah. So.
And live, you can tell.
I think you could tell live. I mean, I talked about this before, but yeah, the rapport with me and Kim talking, and then even making fun of Roy, using Roy as a prop, for jokes. It all worked. It was all special. We never said the same things twice. We always just played off each other. Some nights we were funnier than others, but I like to think we hit most nights, and we did, especially at the end of our career, our last 10 years. We I judge our shows by how funny and entertaining we were talking.
And
So.
in between all that stuff, you played a few songs, right?
And in between that, yeah, we'd have to play songs. Yeah. We set up our if you look at our set list, you'll see lines, and basically it's like blocks of 4 songs. Line. That line means take a break, talk, and obviously that happened. Obviously when you break a string, you'd stop too. But that's generally, we try to be like the Ramones for 4 songs, just barrel through them, and then have our little breaks.
Nice.
So, yeah.
That was a good way to do it. Good way.
Yes.
It worked for us. Yeah. I don't know how we arrived on that early on, but we wanted to kind of play a bunch of songs in a row, in blocks. And yeah, again, it just all evolved organically, so.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, very cool, Ronnie. I thank you so much for coming on the show. And who knew it was going to turn out to be a Pussy Riot episode? Taking over. I mean, it was like a. Right?
I can see the comments now. More cats, please. Less of your faces.
Oh my God. But
Yeah.
Ronnie, thank you so much. And thank you, Joy, for the idea and for coming on as the guest host. This is a great album.
You're welcome.
And if you don't have it already in your collection, go to the Muffs official merch site and get yourself one.
It's never gone out of print. I'm really proud of that too. It never, even before Omnivore did these deluxe reissues, it was always available on Warner Brothers. So I mean, how amazing is that? Sorry, I keep kind of tooting my own horn here, but this stuff is special.
It's very special.
Extremely.
Most
Shoot
of the
away,
things,
Ronnie.
most of the things went out of print from our same era. You know what I mean? Those bands I mentioned before, and so we steadily, we had this kind of steady career, and I'm proud of that. Maybe if we'd had a big hit, maybe if Set Tomorrow's a big hit, maybe we wouldn't have lasted as long, Because after you have a big hit, then people expect more big hits, and then you're trying to chasing the big hit.
And then you implode.
And that was never going to work. Yeah, that kind of thing was never going to work with Kim anyway. She didn't take direction well, and in fact, if you gave her direction, she would go the opposite way. So,
My kindred spirit.
yeah, she was special.
Oh, agreed.
But thanks, Joy. Thanks, Jeff.
welcome.
Thanks, Soraya. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Ronnie.
Always-
Appreciate it.
Good to see you. We need to go to Cactus again.
Yeah, we'll do it. Everything's going on a nice timeline now. So we'll all be vaccinated soon.
Fingers.
Yes.
It'll happen soon.
Absolutely.
So.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, Big Ronnie.
Look, Jeff, and so look, I say it every time, but be nice here.
We will.
All right. I know I had to skip away for 5 minutes, but be nice.
We talked some shit. We did.
Yep. I know. Of course. Look at the three of you that I'm looking at.
Oh.
What else is going to happen? Know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we know exactly what you're saying.
Oh.
All right, y'all. Love all
right.
you.
Love you
All
guys.
right.
Bye.
Mwah.
Bye, y'all. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Love it when that Texan accent comes out.
Yes.
Jeff, this was a great episode.
Agreed.
And I'm just constantly amazed by what the band did on Blonder and Blonder.
Yes.
They gave a lot in, handful of songs. They gave fans a lot in terms of influence and style. And it's a great album to have. And one of the things that trips me out about Kim Shattuck is, because I used to follow her on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Loyal friend, loyal sister, loyal daughter, and extremely proud auntie. So and I mean, an amazing wife, and she was a big baseball fan, her and her husband Kevin, and she was a big Dodger fan. So I would see pieces of her life, and she just seemed sweet and just welcoming and a very good friend, right?
Yes.
And then you see her musical output, really diligent, loved what she did, was a very good songwriter.
Yes.
And man, that chick could howl.
Yeah.
So you go, she's like every other person on earth, where we all have these dimensions, and it's not until you start to get to know them a little bit. And I mean, we got to know her as a musician, where you start to see all these parts of her, and them as a trio, and it's exemplified on this album, are so strong.
Yes. Absolutely.
So, whoo, amazing.
Agreed.
I don't want to stop talking about the album, but
No.
should. All right. So, mi gente, agrubiar.
Groove on, Paisley people.
Yeah, the guy's like well hung or something.